Hello and welcome to the 41st episode of Pedz Game Shack. Today we have a new guest joining us to talk about What the Bat. This is just playing. I was like, what are we playing again? So joining us is Jazzem. How are you doing, dude?
Oh, sorry about that. I was holding the cue cards up in front of Pedz, and I was like pointing to it like it says what. And, he wasn't completely guessing there, but we got there.
Got there in the end. You doing well?
Yeah, good, thank you. Relieved. I mean, we don't live too far from each other. We've had pretty similar weather, right?
Yeah.
This last weekend hasn't that been fun?
No. I don't like hot weather. It sucks.
When it's that hot, it's oh man. It's I look forward to sleeping with my bed covers on, which hasn't been the case the past few nights.
Yeah. Last night I slept with no bed covers still because it's just too hot for me. I'm a fat guy, so it's even worse for me.
Oh,
It's true. I'm not making it up.
you are able to play a VR game where you're swinging your arms around a lot,
Yeah, that was fun, but also it was kind of killer because it's been hot. Even like today in my house, it's a lot hotter in here than it is outside because this house retains heat like a bitch.
Yeah, the classic British housing problem, definitely.
Yeah, and basically when my parents lived here, because they owned the house, then they sold it, and then I rented it off the person they sold it to. Weird. But they insulated the house even more. So there's like thick walls with more insulation to keep it hotter in the winter. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to help that much in the winter, but in the summer, it just retains heat even more than normal.
Oh, I don't like it. The worst of both worlds, really.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to retain heat in the winter. I don't know why. It's like just freezing, which I don't mind so much because I can just go, right, blanket, sit down with that on. In the winters, in the summer, when it's boiling, it's like, I can't take off any more clothes. Like, I suppose I could remove my skin.
I don't know how reversible a process that is, though. Careful about
that. Yeah, it's probably something that I'd be... But yeah, I'd be dead afterwards, wouldn't I, probably? So. But at least I'd be cold.
A fair trade-off. Yeah. I mean, VR is not... I've got a third-party... I don't know what you'd call it, like head strap, like head pad replacement fit on my PSVR 2. And one of the options you get with that is a cooling pad. That's like the closest thing I can do to make VR hot weather friendly, because it's debatable how gaming friendly weather this hot is in general, especially with VR, right? You've got this bulky headset on your face, you're moving about a lot. I can play it with like 5 fans going off near me, but it's a bit tricky this time of year.
Yeah, they need to figure out a way of making it cooler. I'd love to go to a proper big VR like warehouse place that you hear about, where it's like massive space, nice and cool, and you could just walk around loads because there's space. Whereas with me, it's like tiny space, play games without room, whatever it's called, room scale. Because I'd have to literally move my settee and stuff out the way to do it, and I'm lazy.
No, those are cool. It's it makes you think of like in conventions you walk past, oh, that child has a VR headset on and he's on like a dentist chair, like belly feet on the chair. He's just like moving his arms everywhere. Like I don't know what exactly they're doing there, but that looks like a right laugh. Yeah, some of those really high end VR experiences.
Yeah, there's this one that I've seen that is like a weird pad, like not pad, like a pedestal or something. You stand on it, it means you could run around and stuff. You'll be running in the spot, by the way it's set up, it feels like you're moving, so you're fine to do it, and it looks really cool. I want one, but I bet they're really expensive.
Yeah, oh man, I mean, any kind of enthusiast hobby, anything like that, the high-end tech gets pretty nuts, doesn't it? Like the pricing, and I mean, we've both managed to do pretty well with PSVR 2 plus the PC adapter, right?
Yeah. I think I got my adapter when it was on offer, so I was lucky.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I don't know how, because I got it day one and availability wasn't, I'm assuming they didn't make a huge amount of availability wasn't amazing. I don't know what it's been like, because you definitely got it a bit later, didn't you?
Yeah. I got it quite a bit later. Because like I got the PSVR 2 when that was on offer, but I was using it on my PlayStation 5.
Right.
And there's still some games I haven't finished on PSVR, on PlayStation 5 with the PSVR, because I got the PC adapter and I've just connected it and I haven't connected back to the PlayStation 5 since. Because there's
Nice, is it?
more games to play. It's basically what it is. It's a bigger variety.
I know, because PSVR 1, I understand that was quite a lot of connections and wires. I think they simplified it for 2, right? So
Yeah, it's just one wire now.
that's good. So if you did want to connect it back and forth between the PC and PS5, could you do that fairly easily at least?
Yeah, you could. The only thing you would need to do is desync your whatever they call pads.
Oh yes, yeah, that would be a bit annoying.
Yeah, you have to desync them from the one thing and then reconnect them to the other thing. So it's not too complicated, but it would just be a bit irritating. But I'm in no rush at the minute because it's been so hot. I haven't really played it much apart from What the Bat.
Yeah, it was about it was August last year actually. So 11 months ago, I got all the VR stuff, and I did quickly realize, oh, this is a pretty tough time of the year to be playing this, but it was worth it for Beat Saber and Half-Life Alyx alone, and I've really enjoyed a lot of these shorter, sillier experiences on it as well, like today's subject.
Yeah. Which, speaking of What the Bat, I started it, I think it was last week. Like we bought it a while back because we were talking about doing the podcast. I think I started it closer to when we were gonna actually do the podcast, simply so because I know I play it like too early and I'm like, right, what am I going to talk about? Because I'm going to have to replay it or something. It's the same with films. Like, I've watched it, but the podcast's been delayed for a month. Ugh, I might have to watch it again.
Oh.
And some of them are bad.
Oh no. Well, I was going to say, sometimes it's you could do notes during these, right? Consult them. I feel like with a bad film, it would just be why ? Over and over again. Right?
Yeah. Well, speaking of films, I did watch the film yesterday because I was supposed to be doing a podcast of films today as well as this, so I could get them both done ready. But unfortunately, I was unable to. And the film we watched was Dragon Ball Evolution. And I think I took 2 notes, and then at the end of the film, I just wrote shite.
Was that your first time seeing that?
No, I have watched it before. I was like, oh, Dragon Ball, cool, I'll watch that. And then when I watched it, I was like, why did I watch that?
Oh no, you went in with like earnest, because that's a hard film to go into these days, like without knowing what you're getting. Like, I can't imagine going into it being like, oh, cool, I like Dragon Ball. Let's see what this is like. And then it's Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, with the films, I make my missus watch them. So she watches, she's like, it was shit, but you have made me watch worse. And I was like, wow, that's praise, I guess.
She's a good sport, fair play. Like, so she sat through like Troll 2 and like Zombievers, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, Zombievers is fun. Zombievers is fun. Troll 2 is terrible. The worst film you probably watched, me and the missus, and I think Kerr watched it. I don't think anyone else joined us for that, because sometimes we have other people join us. But the worst film was definitely Cocaine Shark. It was not good.
Is that a film funnier in concept than it is in execution?
Well, I think for the first like 5 or 10 minutes, I was like, oh, this is pretty funny, actually. And so bad it's good kind of funny. And then after that, it was just like, even though it was trying to be daft and whatever, it was just really bad, and I hated it by the end. So
that could be one, though.
Yeah,
joke fairly easily for like a full runtime. Like
that, I don't even get the name Cocaine Shark from the sounds of what Kerr was telling me. Cocaine Bay was coming out, so whoever made the film within 3 days after Cocaine Bay was announced. So then there's a Cocaine Shark coming out. Something stupid like that. It's crazy what people do. But
so it's not part of a shared CCU, cocaine cinematic universe necessarily.
That would be good. Cocaine Bay was actually enjoyable. Cocaine Shark, not so much.
Alas.
Yeah. So what did you find for speaking of bats, even though we were talking about bears and sharks. What did you think of What the Bat then? Because I rather enjoyed it.
Pedz was like, speaking of cocaine, did you enjoy that?
Exactly.
Yeah, so this is the we were talking, so this series is 3 games in, right? And
Yeah.
so this one came out in 2022. So I'm trying to figure out the order because I believe What the Golf was first.
Yeah, definitely got What the Golf was first. But then I'm not sure
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah, because okay, here we go. What the Golf was 2020, non-VR. What the Bat is second, the one we've played. That is VR. And then What the Car is non-VR. Their most recent one came out last year.
It came out last year. I picked it up not long ago.
Nice, because so what these games are, they're if one is aware of the GIF of the fella laughing at a magazine called Sensible Chuckle, and it's got a dog with a dunce cap on it. Which is from a really funny show called Danger Five. That, but yeah, these games really are Sensible Chuckle the game because they're little kind of physicsy, puzzly, absurdist comedy games, basically, right? Where you're given a scenario, and usually you have to get a trophy, right? Like usually there's a trophy in the distance.
Yeah.
And what the golf, you'd have to hit it with get there with a golf ball. At least there's like the simple starting scenario. um what these games do so wonderfully is they escalate in silliness, right? So so like, okay, first one, you just like hit a golf ball with the golf I was gonna say golf bat. That's this game. With the golf club, and then like, okay, that's normal. And then it's like, wait, hold on, I did this swing, but then my golf club went flying. Oh, that's what I was doing. And then it's like, oh, okay, and then we're gonna try and hit this car with the golf club. Oh, wait, hold on, we're controlling the car and it's rolling everywhere in a
Yeah.
ridiculous manner. And suddenly there's goofy animals involved. So they're really fun for that. And VR is such a good fit for it, right? Like, because there's so much you could do within that space in really silly ways. And they kind of cleverly realized, okay, 2 VR controllers, that's 2 bats basically, right? And
Yeah.
then it's just a lot of again, the starting scenarios usually hit a baseball with the bat, try and hit the trophy with that. And then before long, you're brushing your teeth with the bat.
Yeah.
Before long, you're like rolling pastry. Before long, you're like moving a road barricade up and down so cars don't run over cats that are trying to cross the road.
Do you know what's funny is with you mentioned that, and it was one of the things I was thinking about is the barricade. I didn't look around. So the very first thing I did was, oh, right, I gotta let cars through. Open the thing, fish all the cats.
Yeah.
I was like, what? I don't think I was meant to do that.
And we should stress because it's a very I don't know how to describe the art style. It's a lot of like single shaded colors, a bit children's book, I guess. Um, like a lot of this game has a big elephant. It's like a chibi elephant almost, like where it's just the head is like 90% of the body.
Yeah. One thing I liked about the elephant, speaking of, is he had braces on his tusks at one point. I was like, that's cool.
There's a lot of funny, like monocles or 3D glasses on the animals, or like, a lot of kind of again, sensible chuckles, really.
Yeah.
There's not a mean bone in this game's body. It's just a lot of really funny dark scenarios. And you made a good point there as well with because one of the big things with VR is obviously just the immediacy of looking around you, and they're able to use that quite well in this game, where because sometimes it's not immediately clear what you need to do. A
Yeah.
few cases, admittedly, usually involving putting bread in a toaster. Those I always found quite fiddly, and you found that as well, did you?
Yeah, I think trying to pick up the bread with your bat because no thumbs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but the game is clever with like, oh, you need to really observe your environment. Like you're always stuck in place, and the levels are never too long, so you're not going to usually be spending too like insufferably long an amount of time. But there's a lot of like, oh, there's like a goose over there which has the fin I need. Or
Yeah.
something like that, or like, oh, there's this open electrical current. Okay, I need to connect one bat to that.
Yeah.
A wooden bat, mind you, but
I wouldn't, but which has bones in it. Which has bones in it.
Yeah. To be fair, it's
Yeah.
well, it's got me. It's like, well, I guess lightning and trees are well. In any case, like, yeah, there's a lot of observing the environment cleverly.
It is.
But yeah, admittedly, what we were talking about with the toast there, that probably does go to probably my biggest criticism of a game I still really enjoyed. There's definitely some of that fiddliness, especially when you're trying to, because it really wants you to be able to pick things up with two bats quite a lot, or
Yeah.
there's quite a lot of levels as well where there's just like a joystick in front of you, basically. You're trying to like steer it, and it's very tough to kind of keep holding on to a thing like that in VR without it just kind of getting a bit glitchy or the immediate feedback. Because there's only so much they can do, right? Like they can have the controllers rumble.
Yeah.
Um, but like I definitely had trouble with that, and there were times where I kind of wanted a bit more of a solid grip on picking things up.
Yeah.
Again,
I don't.
anytime I saw a toaster, I just dreaded it basically.
Yeah. The good thing is the
Um,
toaster doesn't pop up too much,
right.
but I think doing the toaster on like the first level would have been enough for me.
Yeah, possibly.
I think that's the thing. It's like for the majority of the game is really good fun, and I had a laugh. Then like even with the scanning of items when you do it on a conveyor belt, for
Yes.
you have to somehow like flip over a Mona Lisa, and it's kind of awkward because you can't grip it.
Yeah, it's because we were talking the other day as well about that museum chapter is really fun. You're doing a lot
Yeah.
of ridiculous mischief in that,
Yeah.
like trying to sneak past security camera. Although again, admittedly, that had some frustrating elements.
Yeah,
But
for the most part, I found the camera stuff okay. There was one where I had to smash a load of glass cases and they hit the trophies in there, but like I'd keep getting caught by the camera because I wasn't still enough or something, and that would be irritating, especially because sometimes you hit the glass and it wouldn't smash.
Yeah, well, I almost because I got confused over that because there was one time I looked away from the security camera and then it didn't catch me. So I was like, okay, so do I need to not have eyesight with it? Like I got a false positive from that. I must have just been staying still. Because you have to be very still
Yeah.
for it, which is a little like I ended up putting the bats against my legs basically. And just being very, which is quite fun in a way, just maybe not immediately intuitive. Um, there are some very funny examples of that. Because there are the DLC levels, right? Which I don't think you've played.
I haven't. No, I'm on the space level, and I'm like most of the way through. I've got like a couple left to do, so I don't know how much I've got left of the game, but I'm assuming not much, because I'm in space.
I think that's a natural climax kind of thing, isn't there?
Yeah.
You're actually very close to the end of the regular game then, and the space world is definitely one of my favorites. They do get very creative. Like, have you done the kissing satellites yet?
No, the last thing I did was using a rocket to pop planets or asteroids. Yes. The one before that was rotating the planets around so that I could either A, hit a ball at a trophy, or use a laser to laser planets to get at a trophy. It's that kind of thing.
I think the game is at its best when it's very creative with the input method, because admittedly, I do think there are a few too many levels where you are just like moving a joystick with the bats, and it's a bit kind of, well, the only way this is using the VR at this point is the stereoscopic 3D, which can help for depth perception, but it's a bit kind of, I almost kind of wish, well, could there not have been a more creative way to control these? Because that planet's one you mentioned, that was the sort of thing I loved in this, where I don't know the term for that, but that kind of astronomers, when you've got all the metal holes and then all the planets and the sun are on them and they can rotate. I hopefully listeners know what I'm talking about. It's hard to, but like, yeah, it's a really creative level in this where you're moving those, and that's moving the actual planets around you, and you have to kind of get creative with the perspective on that. Again, using the VR space very well. The DLC levels, they're Battywood, so they're all Hollywood based. And what was interesting is I'd say the regular game, generally a really good time. Some frustration, a bit too many joystick levels, a little bit too much fiddliness, and maybe I wanted more creative input methods sometimes. I'd say the DLC is almost all gold. I think the DLC is the best part of the game.
Really?
Um, yes, it's certainly the funniest because it can. I guess they can leverage like film parody stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know how much of that I should spoil, but I just a lot of me laughing throughout that, like a sheep trying to do evil Knievel stuff. So you're trying to like manipulate that. It gets into some of the really creative input methods I was really wanting where suddenly you've got like these little white balls on your bat. Oh, it's because I'm a motion capture Finn.
Ah, that's cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of again sensible chuckles at just really creative stuff like that, or
Yeah.
this wonderful bit where you're trying to catch a thief basically, and it's one of those where the puzzle is almost, well, where do I even start? What's my ability? And you realize, oh, if I press this button on my left bat, I've got a torch, and then you're using that in this monochrome environment to like pick up footsteps and
Oh,
they
that's cool.
appear if you yeah and a lot of fun film parody stuff like the Shining, there's a chapter just based on the Shining and it just had me laughing like an idiot.
Oh, I
Because
need to
it
get to that ASAP.
yeah,
That sounds a
definitely.
lot of fun. Like I said, I've enjoyed it for the most part anyway. Like, I think I can't disagree with you at all about they being a bit too much of the moving a joystick.
Right.
That is a little meh, but the other stuff, just general, even just hitting a ball at the right thing was fun. Like the farmer where he's like, oh, I've got to, put apples on a tree. Instead of them growing, you hit them onto the tree with your bat, then you paint them red.
Yeah.
That was just daft fun.
Yeah, they get that's some of the good joke escalation they do with this, where like, all right, the first one is like, well, you're moving the basket below the tree to collect the
Yeah,
apples, and then you're moving the branches, the apples on the tree, like the
yeah,
conveyor
yeah.
belt. Like it's that was fun kind of inversions they do really well in these games.
Yeah, I also like the fact when you like have to hit the balls. If you hit the elephant, it just spits the ball back to him.
Yeah, yeah. The elephant's kind of the running character of this game, isn't it?
Yeah,
There's quite a few fun running motifs. Like you're playing as kind of a female character in dungarees, and at the end of every chapter you do the selfie,
yeah,
right? Which again, a clever observation. Oh, the bat is kind of like a selfie stick, so you're kind of
yeah.
directing that, and there's usually fun things you can do, like you've got you can paint on a painting behind you, and then get that in the selfie.
Yeah,
Yeah, like that's kind of a fun runner, and they call back to that in fun ways. They'll do that in the final boss after you've done that. Um, Admittedly, that's one of the other really fiddly things in this game. Anytime you need to paint on anything,
yeah,
like I was reminded earlier of like, oh, there's like you have to paint stripes on a horse to make them a zebra. And then you scan them because it's like a barcode. It's like again, really
yeah,
creative and clever, but
yeah,
man, it's I guess it's quite hard to do with like just a free controller that's not gonna be on a surface in real life, but it is in the game. But anytime you had to draw on something, I did find that really difficult.
yeah.
I must
Especially
admit.
like some of them, it's like, oh, look, there's a pattern to follow. Try and follow the pattern. Nothing like it at all. Like
Yeah, yeah.
with the painting, I'm pretty sure it's glasses and a mustache and a mouth or something. And for
Oh
me, it's
yeah.
just a big blob. One big blob.
It's yeah. 'Cause I do think a game like this where I feel like the main focus is making you laugh and smile, and then a bit of creative puzzle solving needed.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think I don't think it ever benefits from being really difficult or in particular requiring precision. So I think quite a lot of the game, not all of it, it is usually pretty good about letting you be a bit loose with it. Like again, there's things like trying to put the bread in the toaster that
Yeah,
I don't know if you could say that's the Dark Souls of the series of games, but it's just so.
Do you know
Oh
what?
my days!
I found the easiest pouring the toast in the toaster was the one where you have to do it underwater. Because the toast floats a bit, so it's easy just like tapping about. Because that's what I did. I got into the water, then I was just tapping it into the right place in the end. Instead of trying to use 2 bats, because 2 bats with toast is ridiculously difficult. It's surprisingly difficult. It's harder than you think it would be.
But I do love that with this game, because you mentioned that, and it's I keep going, oh yeah, that bit was really funny or clever, because that bit where it's so you start off and you're like above water, like, just off an island coastline.
Yeah.
And then you think, oh, wait a minute. And then you crouch down and then you're suddenly underwater. Like, it's using the VR space cleverly like that.
Yeah.
And then you have to kind of go back and over those next series of mini levels, you're like looking back and forth to manipulate something underwater that might affect above water, right? Like some really funny creative stuff like that.
Yeah. That's the thing with the island one. It's like, it started at one point with sharks, and you'd hit them with a ball, with a baseball backed arms. Right? And I thought, oh, cool, we can have some cool shark stuff. And then the rest of it then was moving a shark around with a joystick. And I was like, oh, that's a bit disappointing.
Yeah, it's...
Till you find out who the shark is, then that's funny.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun, goofy reveals. Like I really cannot stress that enough with the Hollywood DLC chapters. There's some wonderful... I mean... You can, you think about like, okay, there's a Batman level.
Nice.
Oh, that means we're going to set up a bat signal. Because that's working on multiple levels. And again, I don't know how much I should spoil.
That's fine.
If I said the phrase "Teenage Mutant Ninja Elephants," that might be another incentive for you. Yeah. Like, I really
need to get to the DLC. I might when we finish, I might jump straight back. Oh, I need to charge my bloody wiggle sticks. I forget what they're called.
Just every level. I don't know the term either. Just every level is like, oh, they're doing this series, and they find lots of funny, goofy riffs on it. Like every time. And again, I think they get the most creative with the input methods at that point. That was a great one where you're playing Cupid basically, and your right bat is like the heart, bow, and arrow. In the left hand, you hit a button on that, and then you're doing that in like various recreations of famous romantic scenes in films.
Oh, right, that sounds cool.
But like, obviously, it's usually with like 2 sheep or like 2 geese or something like that. So, and you just have to like get them close to each other, and it's just hilarious and adorable. And oh my god, there's like like the Shining chapter. It's the famous hedge maze, but you're manipulating it like a Screwball Scramble, basically.
Nice.
Just so many cool things like that.
See, I'm gonna charge my thingies up and then get to that. I'll get soon. I did promise my kid I will play some Phasmophobia with him, so I'm gonna have to do that first. But then after that, I'm getting back to it because I was enjoying it anyway. Like we know there are a couple of that are not as good, but I think that I guess they're less creative in the DLC because I guess they had more ideas and came out. Like I assume they made the game, thought, well, we can do this, as a starting point. And then when they made a DLC, it's like, oh, we could do more creative things because we're used to doing stuff with VR now. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. I think I can't immediately think of another example. I'm sure there are other cases of this where people say, oh, the DLC is the best part of this game. And for the reasons you said there, maybe they kind of honed their craft.
BioShock 2.
Ah, yeah. well, that was interesting because... Yeah, because I mean, a lot of those people went on to make narrative-focused indie games like Gone Home, right? And that was clearly them wanting to do something like that, which is why people really like the narrative elements of that. But
I like Gone Home.
Yeah, same. Like really clever what that did. This developer, they have done that. I don't know if they've done it with What the Car yet. They definitely did it with What the Golf. That had a lot of free DLC.
Yeah.
And then, like, this game is quite short. Like, you'll get everything done in about 3 hours, give or take.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, I think is fine. Like, I'm kind of okay with these goofy, like, arcadey, puzzly VR games. I know sometimes there's a want for more Half-Life Alyx style long games, but I think this does suit because I don't usually want a VR session to be like 4 hours at a time or whatever. I think it does suit that. And there's a game like this, it'll run its course pretty well within a few hours, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah, like the DLC isn't like a huge amount of content, but it's more or less aside from one bit you're trying to put a pizza in an oven, and again that was
no.
yeah. You can imagine what that was like, but aside from that, like it's wall to wall gold, and I'll take 45 minutes DLC that's like that consistently amazing over like 3 hours of DLC that's not as good, right?
Yeah, no, I can agree with you with that because at the end of the day, it just you'd be disappointed. You're like, oh, whoa, more stuff. Good call. Oh, that's crap. That's on.
Because I remember when you proposed playing this game to me, and I sort of made the point of, well, I've seen it's gone on sale before, and when you proposed that it wasn't on sale, and then when it then did go on sale on Steam, I was like, message you like, look, because I think on sale it was it £6 around about? I
Something
want to
like that.
say.
Yeah, it was £18 down to 6 or 7, something like that. But it was definitely a hell of a lot cheaper than it was at full price. I guess
Yeah,
at £18, the game is quite short. But I see. Yeah, at the same time, there's a good game there, and I wouldn't begrudge paying the full 18, especially if the DLC is as good as you say, because they always do free DLC. So that's one thing you got to think
yeah,
about as well. But for £6, you can't go wrong.
yeah. I just checked. £7.59 was the lowest.
Yeah,
When it,
you can't go
it goes
wrong
on.
for that.
It goes on sale quite often, and yeah, fairly consistently goes. I'd say it's easily worth that. It's when one gets VR, you're always kind of looking for okay, are there like hidden gems? Because it's a lot of games that aren't making huge headlines. It is fairly niche in that way.
Yeah,
Um,
that's the shame with
even with,
VR, isn't it? You think
yeah,
it'd be doing, you think there'd be more push for it because it is like a. I know it sounds stupid. It's like going from 2D to
uh-huh.
3D. It's that kind of thing going from 3D to VR. It's like a big leap,
Right,
and
yeah.
it just doesn't seem to get the same kind of push as other games do. It's strange.
I like the way you put that, yeah, because it definitely is. I've always been quite keen on stereoscopic 3D. Like I did like it on 3DS as well.
Hmm.
Um, it is also something where I don't want everything to be that because you do feel it on your eyes. Your eyes are having to do more work to perceive that.
Yeah,
And I don't want every game I play to be in VR, but it is wonderful what the very unique, specific things it can do, and there's definitely value in having that
yeah,
in games. Just yeah, I think unfortunately it's just very hard for it to maintain or build big momentum. Like it is inherently a niche luxury thing,
yeah.
especially as
The problem you got
yeah.
then is with VR. Not VR itself, but people like half of Alex is super highly rated, and then you have a lot of people going, "Oh, hopefully there's a mod so I can just play it normally." And it's like you're gonna miss out on loads of the cool VR stuff, and it's not going to be the same game. Like I'm not that far into it already. I'm like, yeah, this is really fucking good. It's just I don't think it would. I think it'd still be a good game in non VR, but I think you'd lose a lot of what makes it interesting if you played it normally.
Yeah, I'm curious about because I know the non VR mod for it. It is pretty extensive, and I feel like it has to be. It would have to rework a lot of things because
Mm,
just my God, I could just rummage in cupboards for hours in that game. That is just inherently satisfying and experience. And so, like the way you're scrounging, like you're crawling about, like it's. I would struggle to see how you could do that out of VR. It it, it is tough though because not everyone has a VR headset. Not
yeah,
everyone is interested. Like there's an accessibility thing as well. Not everyone is
is
able
able
to
to.
do
Yeah,
VR. Yeah, like there's there are inevitably going to be a lot of barriers where I can understand there being a desire for a non, especially because that is part of the Half-Life story, and there is fairly significant stuff in there without specifying any further
yeah,
on that front. So it is worth it for fans of the series to experience that, even if they can't do VR. But yeah, like I mean, with this game, what the bat as well. Again, I think I think like when it's at its weakest, it is like when it's a bit too fiddly for its own good, or again those joystick levels where it's a bit sort of it doesn't feel like this is using the VR space as well as it could. But when it does use the VR space, which
Yeah,
or the the immediacy of those motion controls, again, especially those DLC levels, I can't overstate that. That is when it's at its best, and why you can see why they did want to do this as a VR rather than the flat game, right?
yeah, definitely. Definitely. I need to get to the DLC levels, which I'm not far from it, I would assume.
Yeah, it's again the sensible chuckles. They're off the chart by that point. I was just laughing like an idiot so much. Just I revealed a few things in there, but there's a lot more amazing
Yeah.
surprises in there.
Nice.
So yeah.
So then, I want to ask you something.
Oh my gosh.
What are the games you've been playing? That's
Oh
actually something
man.
serious, I don't know.
Oh dear, how much can I divulge here? Do I need a lawyer present?
You do,
Um,
yes.
Plot twist, Pez is my lawyer. No, yes. Yeah, so obviously bit of Switch 2 stuff, which has mainly been obviously on GRK, the weekly Mario Kart Monday.
Yeah.
Which that's exploded quite a bit actually. Hopefully not too much because I we still want GRK people to be able to go in on there, but it's been quite fun, especially when the rooms could be up to 24 players anyway, just friends of friends piling in.
Yeah.
Certain
Yeah,
usernames.
I was late this week, but last week I was there and there was like 24 players at one point for quite a few races,
Yeah.
which was really chaotic.
Not unexpectedly, yeah, but there's still, oh my days. I think what I liked about yesterday's session was we were in that like 20-ish player zone where
Mm,
it was a nice big packed room, but there was still space for people to join.
yeah.
It's such a fine line on that, so ideally not go above that. But yeah, been enjoying that. Obviously, ridiculously excited for Bonanza this week, DK Bonanza.
Yeah,
If you
that I want to get, but unfortunately I haven't ordered it yet, and I feel bad.
Oh, that's not a moral failing. Like you're okay, mate. I promise. I'm the Donkey Kong man, and I'm still saying that, so that can exonerate you, hopefully. Um, yeah. And the other thing is Doom: The Dark Ages, which I actually really love, and I know
Yeah,
it's been yeah.
I've heard I've heard people saying that it's a really good game, but it's just not in the same league as Doom and Doom Eternal. Obviously, I've not played it, so
Yeah, so it's been long enough between Doom 2016 and Doom Eternal that it's hard for me to be completely sure. I feel like Eternal might maybe still be my favorite, but I will miss aspects of this game if I go back to Eternal after it. Like I actually really like all the stuff with the shield. It's especially with speaking of games that get chaotic, there's so much going on around you in this, and it is just good to be able to have the shield and then parry it always feels amazing. Um, it's reminded me of the recent God of War games, interestingly. Like, because I feel
oh
like a
right,
lot of the ways you throw this shield or you parry in certain ways or you direct it, it's very much like the throwing axe in
all
those
right,
more recent God of War.
yeah,
Yeah, and
yeah,
I really like that in that game as well. Because like similar to like use it a bit for light puzzle solving as well. The with this game they did want you to be more of a kind of slow heaving tank, but they also gave you a game speed adjustment option in the accessibility settings, and I've
all right,
actually bumped it up to 120% speed. Certainly tired a lot, but I actually overall really love the game at that rate.
nice.
Um, I don't know if I'd recommend that on controller.
No,
Maybe 110% speed, maybe, but on mouse and keyboard, it is just it is such a rush. Like, and I really actually like the weapon balance in this. Like, I feel like every weapon is useful in their own way, and I am off to go between oh, this one will get me more armor, which I desperately need right now. Oh, this one will build up this other thing that will be useful. Um, I guess if I have any kind of big critiques, they're not usually that big. The dragon flying, like, it's all right. Like, I don't mind that. It's just, it is one of those classic cases of when a game is not doing the main mechanics, when it is doing like a different thing for variety. It's neat, but it's just not as mechanically dense or as interesting
Yeah.
as the main stuff. Like, I haven't minded the dragon flying stuff. It's, you know, it's a cool sight seeing the Doomslayer on a armored dragon. But I wouldn't be in a rush to replay those the way I would the shooting stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and visually, I actually like visually a lot of the time I really like it, especially the ray tracing stuff, especially if you can do the ridiculously high end stuff on the PC version. Sometimes it is a little bit monochromatic in its color scheme. Like there's not always a huge amount of dynamic aspects.
Yeah.
It varies by level, though. A lot of the time, I have been in awe of it, and yeah, I do recommend it. Like obviously, it's on Game Pass and such. Um, a friend very generously gave me a spare key he got,
Oh,
which was
nice.
very, very kind of him. But yeah, as a big Doom fan, I'm really happy to say for a game that was a little bit mixed in its reception, I'm really liking it.
Oh, that's cool. I haven't played Doom Eternal. I played like a little bit of it, and then I was like, right, I need to upgrade my PC and then play it properly. And that's what I'm feeling like with like a lot of games now. It's like, I don't want to play them on console. I want to play them on a PC, but I need a better PC.
It's
like, especially shooting
yeah.
games like first-person shooters and stuff. It's like, since getting my PC like 10 years ago, whatever it was, and then playing like Doom and stuff on it on PC, it's like, I don't want to go back to a controller. It sucks.
Yeah, admittedly, those recent Doom games, especially, I really feel like they do adapt them well to controller, and obviously, a lot of people have been able to play them
Yeah.
well or enjoy it. But admittedly, I could not imagine not doing mouse and keyboard with how quick they are, with how so immediate and precise you need to be with your camera movements. Like, I really think they benefit from that. And sadly, I don't think the console versions, because there are console games you can do mouse and keyboard on, right? It's not
Yeah.
as convenient or immediate, but you can. But I don't think the recent Doom ones are among those, unfortunately.
Boo.
What about you? What have you
Phil.
been
Oh,
yeah. There's a lot of reasons to be angry at that, man. A lot of reasons.
Yeah.
What have you been playing? What have you been playing yourself, man?
I have recently finished my first mainline Final Fantasy game.
Oh yeah, of course. Well done. I was there.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I played through Final Fantasy 1 because I played a lot of the Final Fantasy games, but I've never finished one because I was like, after a while. But I thought, fuck this, I'm going to play through some Final Fantasy games. I'm going to start from the first one. So I grabbed the first 6 and started with 1. And for the most part, I found it pretty easy until I got to the final boss, where my entire party just died the first time I fought him.
This is the Pixel remaster, of course.
It is the Pixel remaster, yeah. For PS4, but I'm playing it on the PS5. And I really enjoyed the game. Like I said, I did die to Chaos the first time I went up against him, which was shocking. Cumberdanes, who was also, they said, he seems like he had a bad pattern because he was healing himself and stuff like that. But he said the same when I was fighting another boss earlier in the game. They were using like some sort of like instant death move. So I'd have like full health of like 700 and then all of a sudden I'd be dead. I'm like, what? I still managed to kill the guy. But he's saying, like, that move I've never seen hit.
Oh, my days.
I've never seen that move hit anyone before when it was hitting me.
It's funny, because the different versions, there's been a lot. There's been, like, well, obviously, there's PS1, GBA, I want this one color.
Yeah.
And then, like, this most recent Pixel remaster. I'm sure there's a couple I missed there, but, like, they have varied in, like, balance and difficulty. Obviously, the NES one is pretty ridiculous. With the Pixel remaster, I think it is generally a very forgiving, easier going version.
Yeah,
it's still an 8-bit RPG at its heart, so you've definitely run into a bit of that, especially unlucky RNG. It sounds like.
Yeah. I enjoyed it though, and I am going to play through Final Fantasy 2. I'm just not sure if I'm going to play through something else and then go to Final Fantasy 2 or jump straight into Final Fantasy 2.
Right. It's well, it's nice with starting with one because especially like the Pixel remaster, it's like a clean like 8 hours ish or so.
Probably took
Um,
me. I don't know how long it took me actually. I think it took me about 10.
yeah, that sounds about right. Like that's quite nice for just a quick fix, and also that's a big one to get off your list, right? Finishing the
Yeah.
mainline FF.
Yeah.
That's great.
For those wondering, well, if he's not finished a mainline FF, but he's finished an FF, which one was it? It was Mystic Quest for the Super Nintendo.
Started off strong.
Hey, musically, it can't be beaten. Well, it can, but it's got damn good music in it.
Damn right, yeah. I'm so glad that music came back in theater rhythm. Like it is so good, weirdly good for that game.
Yeah. Like, that's the thing, though. When I played through Mystic Quest when I was younger, I was still 18-ish, 17. 17 hours. Because I was living in the flat. I was 17 when I was living in there, and I moved up when I was 18. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, I actually didn't mind it, but it's a very different kind of game to find. Like Final Fantasy 1, for example. It doesn't really give you much in the way of direction. You're kind of figuring things out as you go in. Whereas Mystic Quest is very linear. If memory serves.
Yes.
Very linear.
Well, it's meant as a you haven't played an RPG before, start with this one kind of game, right?
Yeah.
And it's debatable how well, for a number of reasons, how well it succeeds at that.
I thought it was okay. I wouldn't know if I played it now, but I did when I was younger.
It's again, it's pretty breezy. Like it's quite short. It's just, man, you do a lot of battles that are basically exactly the same because of how pared back it is. Like, just thanks. I think the idea of an introductory RPG it's a pretty there's nothing wrong with that. It's a pretty sound idea. Just I guess it's a tough mix of how accessible and simple do you make it without it just becoming monotonous.
Yeah.
So I think like maybe the Mario RPGs, especially the better ones, are probably a better example of that, where they're pretty accessible and open, but they're not mind numbing from doing the same battle.
Yeah. I think everyone, if you want to do first RPG, if you've never played one before, play Paper Mario and then Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, and then skip the rest of the Paper Mario games.
Maybe listen to the music of Mystic Quest. Maybe
yeah.
Play through it. I mean, you could do worse, certainly. It's got quite a goofy comedic tone, that game, as well, which I quite like. There's a lot of the main characters shrugging towards the screen after something ridiculous is said, which is quite fun.
Yeah, it wasn't made by Square, though, was it? It was made by someone else, so I think
it wasn't like the main FF team. I think it was an internal team.
It was it?
So, I think so. I mean, they were quite small by that point. So I'm not gonna like they might have had there were like support studios. Tose TOSE is a famous one. Maybe they had a hand, but it does feel off brand in that way. I can see why one would think it was a different developer.
Yeah. Like I knew it was published by them because it's Final Fantasy, but I thought that maybe it was developed by someone else for a more Western audience.
Well, they brought it out over at a time they didn't bring out mainline FFs until 7 on PS1. We did get Mystic Quest in Europe, so that's like the first or second FF. Alongside the first Mana game, if you count that, the Game Boy one, which I think that might have come first, but it is funny to think Mystic Quest was the first FF game we more or less got.
Yeah. I think they got in America Final Fantasy 4 and 6 or something, but it was like 1 and 2 or 1 and 3. It was weird, weren't it? Like Final Fantasy 6 over this Final Fantasy 3?
Yeah, you are right, because they did FF1, which obviously just came over there as Final Fantasy. They skipped 2 and 3. 2 almost came out on NES there, but I think the time it was like, well, the SNES is out, so they just did 4 next, but then they called that FF2 there, and then they skipped 5. Again, there were some plans to maybe localize that. 5 is the one with like the really intricate job system. Maybe I mean they were worried that might be a bit too complex, so they did put over 6, and then that one was Final Fantasy 3 in the US. Yeah.
I need to finish Final Fantasy 6. Final Fantasy 6 and Final Fantasy 9 are the ones I've enjoyed most while playing them. Not finished them. I feel silly. But what can you do?
Yeah, those are two I would rate highly, especially 6. 6 might be my favorite. Still, it's really good.
There you go. Final Fantasy 6 is better than Final Fantasy 7. Jazzem says it. It must be true.
No. I don't know where we rank What the Bat amongst FF games. Probably better than Mystic Quest, at the very least.
Yeah. I don't know, though. Final Fantasy Mystic Quest may have better music.
It probably, although I guess that's another thing we could say with What the Bat. Like, it has got, like, some really, again, the movie parody stuff. They do some really funny... Well, you might have noticed in the space levels, right? They have, like, they have John Williams-esque
yeah. Same with the shark one, Jaws. It's kind of like a kind of offbeat kind of Jaws theme.
Yeah, it's like when The Simpsons would do that with like, just like a few like legally distinct, but also reminiscent enough you recognize what it is, and a lot of silly a cappella in there as well. The What the Bat theme, where it's got a cappella just singing that over and over with more intensity.
Yeah,
a proper earworm as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend people play What the Bat if they have VR.
Yeah, and the I've not played What the Car. What the Golf is very delightful as well. I don't think I've done all the DLC on that, but I did finish that as well.
Yeah, What the Car is good fun. It starts off. You're like driving a car to the end of the letter. It's like a golf course, I think. So it's remind you of What the Golf. So you drive to the golf hole. Yeah, the golf hole. And the next level, it's like your car got legs and it's running, and then it's got legs, and the legs go like all around the car, so it's kind of like spinning weirdly. It's good fun. Because I think both What the Bat and What the Car have a nod to What the Golf to start.
Yeah.
Which is fine by me.
There's some fun, like, I mean, they're really good at, like, running gags or motifs that pay off in funny, silly ways. Like even across multiple games. It's just fun to say.
It is. So, I would say get all the What the series. Not just What the Bat, but What the Car and What the Golf too.
Yeah. It's a really the non-VR ones, they're very well, I assume it's the case for What the Car. It's a really good portable game as well. Like if you get it on Switch or Steam Deck, you can, the levels are short enough, you can easily just get a few in quite quickly. Have a bit of a laugh, and
it's kind of WarioWare-esque in that regard of the levels are kind of short, like 30-second mini level little puzzle.
Yeah, I'd say because WarioWare is often like that'll make you laugh from the absurdity of the tasks you're given, right? It's like similar in that way as well.
I think we can wrap up here if you would, unless you have anything else you would like to add about What the Bat.
I'll just say the words Teenage Mutant Ninja Elephants again, because that just makes me happy.
I'm definitely getting back to that today.
Thanks for having me. This was a fun choice of game as well. Like a bit, like not an immediately obvious one, but a really cool one to try. And despite some misgivings, I laughed and smiled like a complete idiot throughout this game. And I think that's a pretty good recommendation, ultimately, isn't it?
Yeah. The funny thing with this game is I've noted myself, like when I'm doing certain things and I'll like shrug or make a face at something, it's like as if I'm actually doing these things. I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I shrugging? Like, I've just smashed something, and I've looked around and shrugged. I've gone, well, me.
It's a bit of a Tommy Pickles' dad. I've lost control of my life kind of moment, isn't it? In the best way possible.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, it's definitely worth playing. It's good fun, and the DLC sounds even better.
Yes, can confirm.
So thanks, Jazzem, for taking part. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Thanks so much, man. I really enjoyed this.
I'm glad. So everyone who listened, thank you for tuning in. We will be back hopefully in 2 weeks. If not, it'll be when we're back. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.